That's probably my idea. Yeah, and then in the basket, you can just put that in the basket too, so, and then it goes in the list.
I got two. There's Bart. Looks so pretty, isn't that jacket pretty? So pretty. And I don't, most people, I don't know, a lot of people don't look at in yellow. She does. It looks so good in that yellow. You do.
Sometimes I wear brighter.
Okay, she's.
Thank you, Corey. Okay, this is my second Sunday in a row of getting rid of the everyone. Welcome. I guess it's this beautiful, beautiful day. And it's just stunning out there, isn't it? I mean, I just had to stop the car and look at some trees this morning. They were just glowing in the sunlight. So beautiful. Well, welcome to everyone who is here, and thank you for spending some time with us this afternoon, and welcome to those who are watching online as well. Remember, if you have prayers for later, to write them on your card and put them in the basket when John comes around later in the service. We're going to stand together right away here and sing our new version of Corey's beautiful song, Prayer of the Children of Love, and you'll find the words right on the front of your songbook. So please stand.
Father, Mother, God, your kingdom come, your holy will be wholly done. Spirit, soul, so is. Father, Mother, God, your kingdom come, your holy will be wholly done. Spirit, source of love, your children sing, flow through us now in everything. Father, Mother, God, your children pray, be loving us in every way. Beautiful.
Please be seated. Just beautiful. Thank you again, Corey. Please be seated and let's take a deep breath together and begin to relax. I invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that. And just follow your breath for a moment as we prepare to take our 3 deep fellowship breaths with an audible ah on the out breath. Let's breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. We bring our busy minds back into our bodies and into this present moment. Turning away from the external, any fears, doubts, uncertainty, inward to the ever-present living spirit of divine love. Our physical bodies are formed of this spiritual substance, divinely conceived and perfectly created. Divine love, God, our source, is always and eternally available to us. And to know this is to know that all wisdom, creative intelligence, and power of the universe is right where we are, is who we are. We don't pray or beseech this power into existence or search for it. Rather, we open our hearts to the awareness of it. We are the consciousness of divine love, the expression of good through us, as us, into this world. Guided, informed, and immersed in peace, harmony, and love. We affirm that all is well, and together we say, and so it is. Thank you so much. Now, Corey's going to provide some very special music for us.
It's a song I'm going to ask you to sing along with. There's some words already, I believe. this a prayer of trust. That's what it is. I'll sing it through a few times, and as you feel the Spirit in you, as you find that Spirit, then join me in singing this prayer of trust. Oh, Spirit, I love you. I let go and trust you, allowing your vision to show me the way. Oh, Spirit, you love me. You rise up and flood me, abounding in wisdom to enlighten this day. I open my heart now and find you as ever. I don't need to seek you. You're always right here within me, around me, my infinite center, the truth of my being, in whom all is clear. Oh, Spirit, I love you. I let go and trust you, allowing your vision to show me the way. Oh, Spirit, you love me. You rise up and flood me, abounding in wisdom to enlighten this day. I open my heart now and find you as ever. I don't need to seek you. You're always right here. Your Spirit around me, my infinite center, the truth of my being, in whom all is clear. Oh, Spirit, I love you. I let go and trust you, allowing your vision to show me the way. Oh, Spirit, you love me. You rise up and flood me, abounding in wisdom to enlighten this day. I open my heart now and find you as ever. I don't need to seek you. You're always right here within me, around me, my infinite center, the truth of my being, in whom all is clear. Oh, Spirit, I love you. I let go and trust you, allowing your vision to show me the way.
That was beautiful. Is that a new one, Corey?
This is a new one.
I couldn't help but notice how well it went with meditation.
Yeah.
And we didn't talk in advance. I love that.
Me too.
Okay, so let's stand up again and sing together. Turning to page 6 in our songbooks, Loving Service.
Our loving service built up in unity. us that we are one. The love we offer to one another supports the justice that is to come. With loving service to one another and reaching out to others in need. When we commit to helping each other, we find divine love is guaranteed. Hold to the vision of life before us and keep our spirits alive with love. With open hearts we greet one another and watch the flight of the peaceful dawn.
And you can stay standing and greet one another. And now, I'm very happy to introduce our very own Fellowship School of Ministry ordained Reverend Sue Quinn. We're always so happy to have her. And look at all this interesting stuff she has down here. I'm very, very very, very excited to see what she has in store for us. So let's give her a warm welcome.
Is that green?
Are you green?
I'm green.
You're
Yeah,
green.
it's all set. Yeah, I didn't want to be inappropriate at the start of all this that's going on today. Hello. Thank you. We've got a fabulous intimate group today. And as you can see, something of all your visual aids, you get the full effect of what we're doing today about the topic of trust. And I'm going to start with something maybe a little bit unusual. I'm going to start by passing around a little magnet that I have of one of my granddogs, and her name is Bella. Just take a look at this and see your thoughts about this.
How old is she?
Bella is 6 years old, and she is a French bulldog, and I call her the Wild White Wonder because she is delightful, wild, and interesting all at the same time. I bring her into play and to show you because oftentimes I get to watch her on the weekends, Friday until Sunday. And when she first comes over, she's very hesitant, not sure what's going to go on next, who's going to feed her, all those pieces that come into play. By the end of the weekend, it's a whole different ball game. But we're going to have 2 different activities, and you're invited to participate in them, but you don't have to. You can always pass. I want you to know this. The first one is, what are barriers to trust? And the second one is, what are things that are helpful to trust?
So could you repeat that again? The question.
What are the barriers to trust? And what are the things that help to build trust? And to get more thinking on, I wanted to read a poem by Taylor Ashley, which deals with, right now, where we are in the season, how the trees are letting go, and how we can also let go. Dearest October, within your winds of change and letting go, take with you anything that does not align with my soul. Just take that and think about it. And I'm going to pass out a basket, and in this basket are rocks. And I want you to pick one. There are only 12, so if you are able to share, that would be most beneficial. Sometimes I think we may have noticed that there's barriers that keep trust from coming through. And these potential barriers, I invite you to comment on these. Take a moment just to look at your rock, see what it has to say, and how it may stop trust from happening. You'll notice purposefully that these are rocks and they're heavy. And sometimes barriers to trust are heavy, laden. We carry these things around with us. And what I'm encouraging you to do as best as you can is to remove these barriers when you feel safe and comfortable to allow trust to unfold. But I'm going to start by inviting you to say what it is that is a potential barrier to trust. And Mary, I'm not sure how to do this, so our studio audience can also hear everybody.
I want me to just.
Well, that's not gonna help the hearing.
Oh, the hearing?
But we can go ahead and we'll proceed then. Yes.
You can repeat whatever we
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
There you go.
Oh, thank you. Okay, all right. So obvious and, yeah, okay. Who would like to start to tell us one potential barrier? Julie?
Fear.
And how might fear impinge on trust?
It would totally block trust. It is I think the ultimate block. So you can't get past it. You just stay in that fearful loop. Yeah.
Fear blocks trust, and you stay in that loop of distrust.
Yes.
Right. Mary?
I saw the fear rock, and I immediately thought of past wounds, and so our fear of being hurt again.
Past wounds, Mary mentioned, and that is so true. Another barrier, mistakes and what we think of our mistakes and what we can do with those mistakes. Barb?
Not enough information.
Not enough information can lead into fear. Okay. Anyone else have another rock that they'd like to share? Julian? Shame.
Maybe we've experienced shame with a particular thing going on, and so we don't want to explore that issue again.
Shame, we don't want to go into something again because we felt ashamed about it. Yeah, that is a tough one, kind of one that goes into you, stays in you, festers not necessarily in a good way, and how to let it go. Yes.
Well, maybe if two people disagree on something.
There could be a sense of shame that you expressed your opinion.
Well, if they disagree, they may not be able to trust
Oh,
one another.
just disagreement.
So if there's conflict, people may not trust each other. How to make it through conflict and still trust.
Yeah.
Thank you. Very good point. Very, very good. Any other topics, rocks, people that would like to share and comment on? Mary.
Yeah, inconsistencies. So, you're dealing with someone who's, one way one day that you're with them and another the next. So you can't trust that there's gonna be that dependability, that solidity.
And Mary was talking about consistency, and as I was driving here today, I realized that when you come here, it's consistent. We've got the camera set up. We've got Corey on keys. We've got John, who's usually here and passes the basket. Mary as our fearless leader. Richard, Jim, Barb, usually positioned in the back, same thing
Holding
with
space.
Deb. And the chairs are set up the same way, and we can count on, this is a space where we can come and know what's going to happen for the most part. Yes?
Do you have a definition of trust?
That is an interesting question, because when I was doing my research and development with this, I did not define the word trust. I looked more at the things that make it so trust is difficult. But if you were to define trust, how would you define it?
I guess I wouldn't know how to define it.
Richard?
Having faith.
Yeah.
Having faith.
Knowing.
Knowing without knowing how.
Openness.
Open.
Hopeful.
Hope.
Dependability.
Dependability.
Surrendering.
Surrender. Yes. Things that lead into. So the rocks I passed out, we talked about a couple pieces. Fear, shame, limited beliefs and what can or can't happen, being closed to ideas. In the school of ministry, we're really taught to be an open vessel on both ends, to receive and to give. And that's a really helpful thing, instead of thinking there's only one way to do things. For example, loading and unloading the dishwasher. There are so many ways that you can do this. There's not one prescribed way. Judging. John.
Patterns of dishonesty.
Oh, patterns of dishonesty, where it feels like you can't trust someone because they show a pattern of being a certain way. That is a really good point. That is. Judgment, judging. And I know for me, that's sometimes my automatic go-to. And I don't know if it's something learned in adolescence, that when you're in a clique, you're in a group, you're holier than thou, you're better. You're kind of going to do that. I have to watch myself, and through our dear mentor, Barb Seiler, in A Course in Miracles, she reminds us that we can try again, go down the judgment trail, but guess what? You can stop and detour and go a whole different way. Comparisons. There's always going to be someone that's better or worse than we are, no matter what we do. In a book by Rainn Wilson, who's from The Office, says, you compare and you despair, because that's ultimately what it leads to. Shallow. When we think about people and what's going on with them, we don't know what's under the iceberg. Maybe they're going in a rush in the car, not to be aggressive, but because they have a medical emergency, not passing judgment on what's happening with them. Not passing judgment on why this person is doing something or not doing something. So there's more than meets the eye. We talked about failings or mistakes, and recently we celebrated the full moon 3 days ago, I think. And in one of the readings about the full moon, it talked about part of growth is learning from your mistakes and coming to understand what it is, why that happened, and not guarding yourself, but being open to how you can deal with things a little bit differently. Apathy. When I think of apathy, what comes to mind is a really, really, really cruel teenager. I could care less. Or the words, or whatever. Ultimately, to me, what that teenager is saying, please love me and love me more than you have, which is sometimes hard to hear when you've got a 6-footer yelling at you. Worry. What does worry do? How does worry impinge on our trust?
Hold you back.
Hold you back.
Doubts.
Doubts. It puts you in the future and makes it so your presence isn't, you're not present in the moment. So these are just some of the pieces that may come into play when working on trust or thinking about trust, which is critical in relationships, whether they be with other people in the neighborhood, if they're within diplomatic talks around this country, or around the world. And I have a reading that comes from Rainier Maria Rilke, I think that's how you pronounce it, that's going to lead us into components of building trust. Perhaps all the dragons in our lives are princesses who are only waiting to see us act just once with beauty and courage. Perhaps everything that frightens us is, in its deepest essence, something helpless that wants our love. That's really food for thought. So we're going to move into another activity, and this is more of what attributes, what concepts, what feelings help to build trust. and I'm going to hand each of you a scroll that is wrapped, and I'm going to invite you to open the scroll, and should you choose, speak on what the message is in here. Disclaimer, I didn't do the art, this was my daughter. I was art in first grade, so just so we know. And in no way, shape, or form are these intended to be any kind of religious scrolls or historical. Just bits and pieces that come about with trust. I was mentioning before the Wild Wonder Bella, and her trust started to develop with me on Saturday. I gave her food, and then she's on medication, which was given to her with cheese, delightful. And then she was able to sleep with me, an adventure, because she moves constantly, like a swirling dervish during the night. So feel free to open up your scrolls, and just take a moment to consider what is on your scroll, and how that might contribute to trust. Dee.
Mine is present, and this is something I've been working on because I've been reading The Power of Now, and it's really enlightening, and to me, it's really helpful because I feel that people who are depressed and people who are very negative are constantly looking back at bad stuff that happened or looking forward and expecting it even though it's not happening right now. So I have been working on staying in the present.
Staying present allows you to appreciate what is the now instead of hanging on to what happened in the past or being so worried about what happens in the future. Thank you for sharing that. And the power of now is what you're looking at, you've been reading?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it helps a lot with gratitude.
Good point. They go together,
Mm-hmm.
don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Presence and gratitude. Scroll readers, anyone? Barb?
Mine is forgive, and forgiveness is about me clearing out and letting go of whatever it was that I had an issue with, so that then I'm more available to learn and grow in places that I need to learn and grow.
Forgiveness, the letting go, just like the leaves do. They come down, trees let go of that too. And truth be told, it took me 21 years to forgive my ex-husband. And what a relief, and what a burden to be able to lay down.
Yeah, I hear you very clearly. So, me too.
Me too.
Richard?
Right, so is balance.
What?
Balance.
Balance. All right, Richard.
And I guess I would think that not to get too far out in any one thing. That I live too far in the external world that's unbalanced, and if I get too far into the internal world that's unbalanced. Mixture of both.
Balancing between external and internal in moderation, everything in moderation, taking things in. John?
Integrate.
Integrate.
Combining two or more components into a whole.
Okay,
It's a science.
this is
Science fact.
an excellent, you're doing science stuff. Of course, my grades were not the best in science, but I understand what you're saying. So, Integration is putting what mistakes you thought you made from the past into the present, forgiving, and knowing how to balance that inside, outside. Tell me again your formula for integration.
Combining two or more components into a whole.
Combining two or more components into a whole, which really, when you think about trust, it's trust in relationship, isn't it? Yeah, thank you.
Well, I love your reference to an experience, historical experience with problems that you go back to and use it as a learning experience. I think that's one of the keys to life, because I don't know about everybody else, but I make mistakes every day.
Good point, John. Keys to life is learning from the experiences. Definitely. Yeah. And not being dragged down by them. Julia.
To go along with D, your word was presence?
It's, yes, present, as being in the present.
Yeah, and I was listening years and years ago to somebody challenge somebody like Abraham or whatever, and they asked Abraham, I'll say, how do I stay in the present? And he said, always know that you are safe. And that kind of goes along with trust too. You just gotta trust that you're in the right place at the right time.
Being safe, trusting, knowing without knowing. Thank you, Julia. Any other shares from the schools?
The genuine, I guess when I meet a situation or a person and I am genuine, I can trust that that situation or person will be genuine with me in some manner.
So what's inside you is reflected back into them, combining into trust in the relationship. Thank you, Corey. Deb?
Mine is listen, and it's interesting because I had an astrology reading a couple of days ago that an Aquarius in this Aries moon, I think is what it is my message was to listen more. So this is really interesting to get. Now tying that into trust, perhaps by listening more, I get a better insight into truly what is being expressed to me by listening closer. Along with listening, I take something that is, I have to constantly remind myself, it's not always about me. You know, what I'm hearing, it's not always about me, it's what the person is expressing. So by listening to that, but I don't know, I'm having a hard time tying it into trust a little bit. Perhaps trusting my instincts, trusting what the person is trying to say or is saying. So.
Listening to your instincts and doing kind of what Richard said, the inner and the outer. What's coming through for you may be something different than what's coming through for them, and then putting in place clarity. Barb?
I just want to add for Deb that when you listen, you're not making it about you. You're letting go of those little stories in your head, and you're being present to receive whatever information is coming when you listen. Yeah.
And I know for me, listening is sometimes hard, like allowing for silence, whether it's during a talk or when I think about having lectured my kids. I could go on and on and on, but it's like sometimes you just gotta close your mouth, Sue, and listen to them. And it's one of the hardest things to do, I think. It really is.
To listen and not judge is really hard.
Yes.
I mean, that's when we work on, I work on.
Yes, Marty.
Clarity.
Okay, all right. Which we talked about, clarifying what it is that you're saying and what your meaning is behind your saying, because we can make up stories in our head until the cows come home, but are those stories always true? Not necessarily. Anyone else from your scroll that you want to say anything? And you are welcome to take these with you, just to remember about trust and things that would benefit and help you in trusting. The rocks I will take back, but the scrolls I will not need to take back. I'm not sure where the basket is.
Right here, we'll get them.
Yeah, that's
We
fine.
can put them in the offering basket.
Yes, you could do that too. The options, and I'm being open to that, so however you want to do it. Yes.
How did you choose the words on the scroll?
I chose them based on conferencing with my daughter, who's always interesting at age 33 with her own thoughts on it. And I also chose them based on, like Corey was talking about, being genuine. And in my other life as a psychologist for littles, I work with a number of children who have multiple placements. They've been removed from their biological parents for various reasons. And these particular children, they almost have a sixth sense when you are not yourself. And one of the foundations of doing therapy is having trust and being in a trusting relationship. And to me, it is just the building block of just about all that goes on in life. That's how I came to that. But I won't get on my bandstand about all that because we would be here until nightfall, and you don't want to do that, so, yeah. What I did want to share, again, about the wild white wonder is almost indescribable. So this dog is, of course, on my lap, 60 pounds of her. She's on the footrest of my couch, and I'm on FaceTime with a friend, and that dog, I kid you not, she looks up at me with the most incredible sense of trust that I can't even say how wonderful that feeling is. And you just know that regardless of being tenuous, not sure what's going to happen, she's going to make it through, and that we're going to make it through, and that we have faith, and that we have trust. I wanted to end with a reading from Lucille, and it's from her recently published book, Contemplations, and I'm not advertising, but it's just a fabulous book to think and look at. So what I would like for you to do is to make sure that you're comfortable in your spot. Put your feet on the floor, spine straight, and if you want to, close your eyes and just relax into this moment. Take in 3 slow, deep breaths to ground yourself. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Just listen to your breath. Focus on that. Trusting the universe. When I find myself starting to feel anxious about something in the future, I have to consciously bring myself back into the present. Otherwise, I may be tempted to try to control or manipulate to make something happen. It sometimes seems so difficult to simply trust the universe to bring about just what we need. The unfolding of our journey is a process with events seemingly timed just right for growth. We will no doubt experience ups and downs, sorrows and joys, failures and successes. Trusting requires a certain amount of maturity. an ability to let go of old opinions, attitudes, and behaviors that no longer serve us. It also requires a childlike innocence or openness to new ideas to flow through us. Some things take time to evolve naturally, so we need to be patient with ourselves and allow events to unfold as they are meant to. We can rely on our inner spirit to guide us so as to think and act creatively in the moment. We can strive to live a life of meaning and purpose and to express our authentic self in our relationships. When we can relax and accept ourselves and our life as it is, we will begin to enjoy life more. Relying on our inner spirit will help us experience a sense of security and serenity, and the knowing that we are always at the right place at the right time. Trust in the natural rhythms of life. Trust what you know and all of your lessons. Trust what comes to you to do next. Trusting the universe means knowing that there is an infinite wisdom that is directing our lives. With this knowledge, we can relax and enjoy the ride. And when you feel ready, just kind of wiggle your feet and hands. And I welcome you back to this room. And I thank you so much for today.
Thank you, Sue. That was wonderful. This is the time in our service when we really bring our awareness to abundance consciousness and open our hearts to blessings and gifts that we give each other. And one of those wonderful gifts is our fellowship for today. So as John brings around the basket for your donation and your prayer card, let's hold in consciousness that gift. And really understand that it is the giving and the receiving as we share with each other. Our donations, our financial support, and being here on Sunday afternoon. And we will sing together. I am grateful. And if you would bring out your bulletins and read with me the blessing of our tithes and offerings. light of divine love shines eternally, blessing and multiplying our tithes and offerings. I joyously give, knowing I always have enough to share and to spare. And let's turn within one more time, close our eyes, put our hands on our hearts as we acknowledge that all of the names that appear in the basket today are people that we hold dear in our hearts. People that we may see struggling or dealing with illness or health problems. People who need clarity in their lives in order to move forward. And let us remember in this moment that truly all is well. And let us see them and acknowledge them and affirm for them that they will find their way to love and understanding and find their way to all the answers to all of their needs. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you so much. I'm going to let Corey do his second song now. Thank you, Corey.
Well, here's another new one, but it is based on an old idea that we are all very familiar with. This one goes out to our dear Beth Monteith, wherever she might be today. It's called Call It Good. Here's a little treasure I'd love to share with anybody who will listen anywhere. The sweetest secret I've ever found. It'll change your life and turn your world around. Here it is. When things look bad, when all seems wrong, just call it good, and your problems can't last long. Yeah, call it good, and so it is. 'Cause good is all that ever actually exists. Call it good, call it right. 'Cause in the end you'll see that it was all made out of light. And everything fell into place and worked out as it should. So you might as well just smile now and call it good. Oh, call it good. Just call it good. Call it good. When you call it good, just watch it shift. See every obstacle become a holy gift, a precious blessing in dark skies, unveiling beautifully before your very eyes. The one grand tapestry becoming clear, the details blending as the perfect whole appears. A world of harmony, a world of peace, a perfect paradise where all judgment is released. Call it good, call it right. 'Cause in the end, and to see that it was all made out of light. and everything fell into place and worked out as it should. So you might as well just smile now and name it blessing, name it love. 'Cause in the end you'll understand that's all it really was. It turned out so much better than you ever thought it could. So you might as well just smile now. Yeah, you might as well just smile now. You might as well just smile right now. And call it good. Call it good. Let's call it good. Call it good. Just call it good. Just call it good.
What a lovely, lovely service. And I wanted to mention, our dear Bart Seiler has been watching, and she, in comments, when we were talking about the rocks, she wrote, "Love is letting go of fear," just as a reminder from the Course in Miracles. Thank you, Barb. So thank you to all of you for being here this afternoon. Thank you, Corey, for your beautiful, beautiful music. Just amazing. And thank you, Sue, for all of your creativity and your heart in preparing your message for us. We appreciate you so much. And I just have a few announcements. Important announcements. So you might want to get out your calendars. Next weekend, we have the Harvest Fundraiser Dinner on Saturday, October 19th, this coming, at 2 p.m. here in the Red Cedar Friends Building. We will have soups provided and some bread and butter to go with the soup. So if you have a side dish to share, that would be wonderful to bring that along.
It's the 26th, right? Not the
I'm sorry, the 26th. Thank you, Barb.
What time did you say?
At
You said 2, yeah.
The whole thing is goofy. Okay, at 4:30. 4:30. So let me repeat it. Saturday, October 26th at 4:30 p.m. here in the Red Cedar Friends Building. And we will have a drawing for a really big, beautiful fall wreath for someone to take home with them. So it should be fun and a nice get-together. We also have on Sunday, the 27th, after service, our regular potluck Sunday. And I'm going to check with Sue to see about the Waldemar Walk on November 3rd. That's on a Sunday at 12:30 at Waldemar Nature Center. And we also have coming up just something to start keeping in mind. The Alternative Holiday Sale is November 15th and 16th. That's a Friday and Saturday at the Edgewood United Church in East Lansing. And we will have a table there trying to sell things that we've made and put together for the sale to fundraise for the fellowship. And it's also just a wonderful, wonderful event to go to. There are so many wonderful and creative people there with all kinds of things for sale. So it's kind of a nice maybe beginning to just really starting to think about the holidays.
What time is that?
I want to say on Friday it's 4 to 9 or 5 to 9, and on Saturday it's 10 to 4. But we'll have lots of other information. We've got a while yet, so it'll be in the announcements, and we'll talk about it more as time goes on. healing movements on Monday at 4, Mondays at 4, and chair yoga Thursdays at 4. And also just a quick thank you to those who bought items at the rummage sale that the Friends sponsored, or purchased items. I don't know the exact final amount, but I did hear one person say that they might have brought in $1,400. So that was a really good amount for the wonderful Tiny Pantry, supporting the Tiny Pantry. Is everybody familiar with what that is? There's a little box outside the building, outside here, that they keep stocked with non-perishable foods, and anybody can just go and take food from that little box, and they call it the Tiny Pantry. And I see people taking advantage of that all the time, so I know it's well used. Okay, anybody else have anything they would like to share? Okay, time to get into our peace circle and say our closing blessing.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God is within us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And that's the truth.
Okay. So keep it. Yeah, okay.